Hi guys, Sean Ferrick here for Trek Culture, and I am bringing you all of the ups and downs for Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2, Episode 8, Excretus. Now guys, you know exactly how this is going to work. We're going to run through the episode, give everything we liked an up, give everything we didn't like a down. But before we get into even that, guys, just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has liked and subscribed over the last month or so. Guys, this is the smallest thing in the world, but you really help us out every time you do this. So please hit that like button and please hit that subscribe button. You are awesome. Let's get into it. The episode opens this week with our four main regulars standing on a beautiful relay station. You've got that wonderful shot of the Cerritos over it, and it gives them a great vantage point as it warps away, forgetting these poor four people sitting there wondering, how much oxygen do we have left? Turns out they have enough for 6 hours, which is how long it takes the Cerritos to get back to them. Now, they are saved and everything's okay, but this is the final straw for Starfleet, and it finally says, right, we've got to put this crew through some simulations to go, hang on. The bridge crew and the lower decks need to understand each other just a little bit better. So, a Pandronian officer is sent as a drill instructor to get all these people into these holographic pods with so many Easter eggs. Do not touch that dial because Cetacean Observations has a little bit of a run through now this week. But each of these holographic pods have simulations which will test how the people react to different command structures. For example, you have Captain Boimler, Captain Mariner, Ensign Freeman. There's a lot of good comedy here, especially when Mariner goes into her pod, which gives us the first up of the episode from me. A little bit of Mirror Universe kink going on. Basically, this episode is like a tribute to so much of Star Trek. It's not done, say, in the same way that the museum episode from earlier this season was, even though that itself was just wonderful. This is more immersive because you get to have a play around in these environments. Now, there's a nod to the DS9 era of the Mirror Universe when you have Miggly Moo sitting there on his perch in his chains, which I found to be very evocative of a certain Garak. And it left me with some strange feelings, I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. My second up of the episode comes from Rutherford's holographic simulation, which is, of course, the good of the many. Come on, anyone who enjoys Wrath of Khan loves this scene. Not only do we get Rutherford playing the part of Spock, trying to figure out exactly how to get into the radiation chamber when he keeps burning his hand on the door handle, which actually, when you think about it, is kind of fair. Now, he does figure it out just before the end. Unfortunately, it is the end, and the beautiful refit Connie that he's standing on explodes. By the way, refit Connie, taken up. Returning to Mariner for a second, one of her next holographic simulations is The Naked Time for the original series. This simulation takes that title just a little bit seriously, in the fact that everyone is naked, literally everyone, and you have T'Ana running around on all fours after Shax, who's covered in claw marks, and there's really not much of a question as to why. You have Boimler spread-eagled, and that was very nearly the thumbnail for this video. And Chris pulled rank on that one, and that's okay. But this whole sequence is so funny and had me laughing so hard that Mariner's absolute, oh my god, fail me, that's an up. That got a massive up from me. We cut to the command crew for a second, and they are kind of relaxing in the corridor, which is where the lower decks crew sleep. T'Ana makes a joke about how easy it is being an ensign, just waiting in the transporter room, hoping to transport someone. I mean, that's an up. Because any reference to O'Brien, which is what this clearly is, just is an immediate up from me. Big up for the Irish, big up for Chief O'Brien at work. Now, naturally, at some point, the lower decks and the command crews need to come together in this simulation, because otherwise, sort of, what's the point? What the drill instructor does is puts them on the bridge of the Cerritos and plays stealing the Cerritos from space dock while being chased by the Excelsior to get Spock to the Genesis planet. I love the fact that something that was deemed a crime bad enough to nearly have the entire bridge crew of the original Enterprise up on charges has become a standard training procedure at this point in Starfleet's history. I just thought it was hilarious. This entire scene for me, another up, but it's for a couple of reasons. One is that Star Trek 3 is a great film, and the whole even odd thing, stop it. But the stealing the Enterprise scene is one of my favourite scenes of all of Star Trek. So to have any reference to that whatsoever is pretty much guaranteed to get an up from me. Am I biased? Yeah. Is it my video? Yeah. Mariner and Freeman reckon they figured out what the actual point of all of this is, and it's to teach the crew of the Cerritos how to work together as a team. And it seems to actually be a pretty good lesson. So they go to the drill instructor and they say, hey, you know, we figured this out, thanks so much. And of course she starts breaking her heart laughing, going, that wasn't the point of this at all. No, she picked the Cerritos because it's a California class ship. And like most of the Federation has no idea California class ships exist. That is an up, because for me that is a deliberate reference to the fact that, oh, this is the first time we've ever seen a California class ship in Star Trek Lower Decks in general, and how it hasn't been referenced at all in Star Trek before this. I love knowing nods like this. This is clearly the writers having a little bit of fun. Freeman and Mariner decide not to take this lying down. So they say, all right, let's take the Cerritos on a real life mission. You know, we might be able to raise our evaluation scores, which are sitting at very much a fail at this point, which the drill instructor laughingly says is going to cause the entire crew of the Cerritos to be relegated out in other starships, and the Cerritos itself to be retired. So, no. They go find some crystalline entities. Seriously, stick around for the Easter eggs, guys. It's gonna be a good one. But like crystalline entities! Haven't seen this since Silicon Avatar. The ship looks like it's kind of screwed. They're flying through this thing. They need to use all of their kind of skills to get out of the jaws of the crystalline entity. Which leads me to my next up. Not just the rendering, not just the appearance of the crystalline entity itself, but the reactions of the crew in the mess hall as they look through the window and you're like, huh. And they just go back to their day. And I thought this was just hilarious, because this makes me think, what about on all of the other ships when there's crazy stuff going on outside? What are the people who are just looking out the window thinking, going, oh, okay, what am I supposed to do here? Yeah. However, this also brings me to a down this week. You show me the mess hall, and you show me Otis, and you don't have Otis speak, you get a down. You get a down for that. Now, throughout all of this, people might be wondering, where's Boimler? What's Boimler doing? Well, Boimler has been in his simulation pod since, you know, Act 1 in the Borg encounter, and apart from the sheer amount of laughter in this simulation, he's told by Freeman and Mariner that he needs to keep going, because the fact that he's still in the simulation means the crew's evaluation has not finished. Therefore, they can't be transmitted to Starfleet, which gives them the chance to screw with the drill instructor. So Boimler is running around a Borg cube and he's doing this and he's phasering that, and much as you would expect, phaser runs out of modulations, he gets himself fairly captured by the Borg. And he's thrown on a slab, and the Borg Queen appears. And guys, I don't mean just a cartoon representation of the Borg Queen. Alice Krieg appears in this episode. Up. The OG Borg Queen herself returns to the role, giving her three appearances now as the Borg Queen on screen, as opposed to Susanna Thompson's 2, and well, unfortunately, Annie Wershing's only got the 1 so far, and it's only been in a trailer. So it's alright, she may still overtake people later on, but Alice Krieg, the OG Queen! Oh, God, I love her voice. I just love her voice so much. Thankfully, the simulation ends and they're able to pull Boimler out of there, and we get the title of the episode explained as he says, I am Excretus of Borg. Just brilliant. Of course he is. Of course he is. That's it for my ups and my downs. However, take a trip with me over to cetacean observations. You will notice the pad has returned because there's quite a few of them. We have Relay Station 47 is getting a clear call out in the cold open of the episode. Temporal causality loop, which is why the Cerritos warps away to the distress call. Clearly a call to cause and effect. A Pandronian who was teased in the original trailer for this season, and of course it's from the animated series episode BEM. On the board of the different types of simulations, Kobayashi Maru, Time Trap, Tribble Troubles from Q to Q, Borg Encounter, Cause and Effect, Natural Selection, Evolution, Chain of Command, Hero Worship, Carbon-Based Units, and Naked Time. All of which are either titles of episodes or specific, references to things going on in episodes or movies. Carbon-Based Units, don't think I missed you there, the motion picture. A little bit of Ilea love going on. Love it. We have Sexy Miggly Moo, who I said earlier is a reference, I think, to Garrick in the Mirror Universe. We have Evil Rutherford with his little beard. Terran Universe beard. Horny Billups, which is a callback to last week's episode of the fact that he's asexual, which I just think is hilarious. We have the pain device, the old agonizer from the original series as well. Then we leap forward to Tendy's story, where she has to deal with exactly the plot of the episode Ethics from Star Trek The Next Generation. A paralyzed Klingon is seeking ritual suicide. And she manages to score even that, which means the time of life is being called. Mariner appears on the set of The Spectre of the Gun from the original series. The Good of the Many, of course, being a call out to Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Refit Connie. It's already upped. I'd nearly up it again. Borg Babies from Q-Who. Borg Sphere as an escape pod, which is of course wonderful. Love Mankind scrawled on a wall, which is a direct reference to the Naked Time. We have a runabout, which is how Boimler escapes the Borg cube at one point. I nearly said sphere. Waiting in the transporter room, again a wonderful call out to Chief O'Brien. When the command crew are being put through the lower deck spaces and they have to stack all those pods, the door keeps opening. It says, "Did anyone see a Q running through here?" And he's dressed as a get up from Cupid. And the next thing is, "Oh look, a Jem'Hadar!" stealing the Cerritos. Now that's obviously a reference to Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, but it's also a reference to those missions from, say, the old VR games like Bridge Crew and the old TOS SNES game. And yes, very much. Thank you, Chris, for catching those ones. Crystalline entities. Do you know what? I didn't up them. I'm giving them an up. How nice did that look in this episode? It looked fantastic. Borg Queen, she's already got an up, but so good, so good. Also, I liked the little nod to transphasic energy that Freeman calls out while on the bridge of the Cerritos. And considering this came just after the appearance of the Borg Queen, that made me think of transphasic torpedoes. Maybe deliberate, maybe not. It's in the ops anyway. Borg Queen blowing on Boimler, which of course is a reference straight away to Data's grafted human skin from Star Trek First Contact, and the motion picture wormhole effects as the Cerritos is being dragged into the black hole. So much fun. So well done this week. Now guys, that's everything for ups and downs this week. It was a lot of fun. This was one of the better episodes. Excretus, what a name. Now, I'm sure we must have missed some Easter eggs. Please drop it into those comments below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. As I say, it's a tiny little thing, but if you just hit that subscribe button, that lets us continue making content. That really helps the channel grow. Guys, you have been amazing. You have been awesome. As always, I will be back next week with the second to last episode in this season of Star Trek Lower Decks for Ups and Downs. My God, this is going quickly. You look after yourself in the meantime. You live long and prosper. And keep some faith in the heart.